What's up? What's up, y'all? Polo Sports Talking ENT here again with another one. Hey, I want to apologize to y'all last night, man. I had to really be kind of use a low voice, man, when I was talking yesterday because my son was asleep. I wasn't trying to wake him, and then also I was kind of tired myself from a lot of stuff that went on yesterday or whatnot, man. It was a hell of a busy day, man, but I do apologize to my subs if you couldn't really understand me about Cedric Ceballos, and I just want to make that clear. Uh, I try to provide a channel to where you could really understand me. And when I'm getting out the news or when I'm here giving my thoughts or my take on something, I want to be very candid to y'all and I want to make sure that y'all understand me. Okay. So I apologize about that. Nevertheless, let's just go ahead, dive right into this thing. Now, former running back Clinton Portis, a personal favorite of mine, used to play for the Denver Broncos and the Washington football team. Back then, it was the Washington Redskins. Uh, he is uh, amongst the latest batch of NFL players to have pleaded guilty in defrauding a league healthcare program. Okay. And this is coming from the Associated Press. The players that were involved was, of course, Clinton Portis, Tamarick Vanover, and Robert McCune. They all reportedly admitted to defrauding the Gene Upshaw NFL player health reimbursement account plan. And it's a program that is set up to reimburse up to 350,000 in medical expenses for retired players and families. McCune, he played as the linebacker with Washington and the Miami Dolphins and the Ravens. He played around in between '05 and '08. He's going to face the most serious charges. The U.S. Department of Justice alleged that he orchestrated the scheme, and it led to probably about 2.5 million in fraud claims. Now he's facing life in prison after pleading guilty. Okay, uh, it was to commit wire fraud and healthcare fraud, 13 counts of healthcare fraud, 11 counts of wire fraud, and 3 counts of aggravated identity theft. Okay, he's going to be his sentencing is going to take place on the 19th, so that's the biggest one that we're going to be looking out for. Um, Portis and Vanover reportedly pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit healthcare fraud and could face up to 10 years in prison. And the court documents reportedly indicate that Portis was responsible for nearly 100K in claims and Vanover 160K. Portis is scheduled for sentencing on the 6th of January and Vanover on January the 22nd. So they're going to come a little bit later, but uh, McCoon is going to be, since he's the orchestrator, he's going to be he's going to be facing a lot more time, and his is going to be coming earlier. Now, on the okay, in the original indictment, the trio was a part of a group of 12 players accused of submitting false claims for reimbursement for expensive medical equipment that was never purchased, such as the hyperbaric oxygen oxygen chambers. I remember I've been in a hyperbaric chamber. I used to love them things. Ultrasound machine that are typically used on pregnant women and electromagnetic therapy devices that are used on horses. Okay. Um, the ringleaders would allegedly find ex-players eligible for the program and offer to submit claims, fabricating documents and prescriptions in exchange for kickbacks. Claims would allegedly be used about 40 to 50,000 and was submitted between June 17th. I'm sorry about that. June 2017 and December 2018, and so this was a couple of years back. Now, in addition to the three players who pleaded guilty, there's 12 others. Joe Horn, okay, he's involved, and he was a Pro Bowler, and he's been charged and found guilty. But the other 12 players, man, I'm gonna be staying up on this story to get some more information on this. But man, this is huge. This is huge, man. You know, yeah. What's up with it, Wait, what? Yeah, this is huge. Um, when you do something like that, man, especially when it involves the healthcare, when you're talking about healthcare and when you're talking about insurance and you're talking about fraud and you're talking about identity theft, you're talking federal time. You're not talking about no little, oh yeah, just a slap on the wrist or something like that, because it's legal documents involved that you have to make claims, and you have to draw out contracts. You have to get appraisals. You can't do some things without getting appraised for some stuff. You're gonna get audited. It's a lot of stuff involved, man. That I don't think a lot of people, they think, oh, this ain't no big deal. And why is he facing life in prison? You got to think about how much money involved. We talking about 2.9 million dollars. What's up with it, Braxton? I see you in the building. Yeah, he had the meanest cutbacks, but in this case right here, that don't mean anything. That don't mean anything. They don't. I mean, and it wasn't just Portis either. It was Joe Horn. I like Joe Horn. He was a decent receiver, man. When he played out in New Orleans. So I mean, this is a huge deal, and he's 40 years old. Don't get me wrong, but 10 years. You know, I think, like, a lot of people, they think like, oh yeah, well, a decade isn't a long time in prison. A decade is a long time. A decade is a long time. Uh, and another thing that we also had to realize too is the the people that are involved that had those claims that were supposed to be receiving these benefits, from them. Now they're like, okay, well, damn, we're shit out of luck. Yeah, Joe Horn too. What's up with it, Think Tank? Ain't seen you in a minute. ATL, stand up, man. Joe Horn. I already knew about Portis, but yeah, exactly. I'm not surprised by this because a lot of this stuff goes on. A month can change everything, yet alone 10 years. Absolutely. Shoot, a lot, man. Everybody that sits up here and says, okay, well, yeah, I do a year, I do 2 years. A lot changes in a year. Like the world evolves by the second. That's what a lot of people don't understand. So you got to think about it. Computers, they change by the millisecond. So let that sink in. So that's why you see stuff coming out when it comes to technology and stuff. It's evolving every day. It evolves every day. it evolves by the millisecond, man. People don't really take that into consideration. But anyways, what I'm saying is that this situation right here is more serious than what people think that it is. You got to think about it. The money that's involved. You're talking about $2.9 million, like what I said. Uh, and then you're talking about for not only the players, medical expenses for retired players, but their families as well. So when you take in consideration the family, you're talking about the wife, you're talking about the kids, and it's not just no one or two players, man. The NFL is a big league. You're talking about 50 some odd guys on the roster, 53 man roster. You understand what I'm saying? So you got to take that into consideration. How many people were being dealt with? You know, uh, we're talking about multi million dollar healthcare fraud scheme. And see, this doesn't involve just the NFL, man. This involves the Justice Department. You know what I'm saying? And see, another thing is this, right? When you're doing a crime, like organized crime or white, any type of white collar crime or something like that. What's up with the Celtics Nation? I'll see you in the building. When you're doing like white collar crime or something like that, they build cases on you, and the cases can go back more than 5 years. Yeah, a hell of a way to start the year, and that was the capital attack. Yeah, but check this out, Think Tank. McCoons, that's not even the icing on the cake. McCoons is facing life in prison. You know that? The former linebacker, he played for Miami, and he played for the Ravens, I think it was. He's facing life in prison. He's facing life. They don't tell you that. He's facing life, and he's supposed to be sentenced. Yeah, because he played for the Dolphins and he played for the Ravens in '05 and '08, between '05 and '08, and he's gonna be facing life in prison because he's the one that orchestrated the whole thing. 13 counts of healthcare fraud, 11 counts of wire fraud, and what's it called? 3 counts of aggravated identity theft. Identity theft is already the upper ante. Yeah, I'm telling you. Yeah, man. And see, nah, you can't. Why would you? Why would you blame the No, that's why would you blame the NFL and the NFLPA? No, that's something that they orchestrated. Wait, what? The NFLPA didn't have anything to do with that. That was a decision that they had to come about and do all that stuff, man. So I'm not I gotta disagree with you on that. Wait, what? They they orchestrated that, and there were 12 other people involved, and none of those guys were amongst the NFLPA, from my understanding. Yeah, he wouldn't have. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah, Yeah, y'all are on point. I understand why. I understand why. Wait, what would say that? You know what I'm saying? I feel where you're coming from, and I'm not trying to say like disagree with you on the fact of like you don't know what you're talking about because you on point with what you're saying. But they you said he was short on cash. No, that he wasn't short on cash. Man, he made 46 million, and he made 46 million over his career, which some people they might not seem like a lot, but when you know he retired. I mean, he retired, and you know he probably still had money or whatnot if he was investing it right, and if you're smart enough to orchestrate this, which McCombs was, you got to think about it, and also see, I was looking at what was it? P Valley, man. You know what I'm saying? And I know, man, I know some guys, man, they gonna trip out. I looked at it. I didn't look at the other part of what y'all thinking, man. But I was looking at the part where this uh one of the strippers were into that type of fraud stuff that they were doing. And I was looking at it from the business thing that they were doing. They were doing a lot of fraud and stuff like that, and that kind of takes me back to what they were what they were doing. When you doing fraud and theft and stuff like that, man, they're gonna build a case on you. They'll let you think that you're getting away with it too. Absolutely, Scrub Zero. I mean, not for all players. Wait, what? Not the majority of. For a lot of them, it is like that, but it's not like that. For the majority of the NFL. But the thing about it is, though, but I understand what you're saying because we were just talking about Deshaun Williams. He had to work at Amazon. Yeah, that's true. I understand where you're coming from, but see, but that's no reason to blame the NFL PA though, or the NFL. They listen. Those guys made the decision to do that, and they knew what they were doing. You and not only that. Wait, what? I'm gonna take it a step further. Again, you're talking about you're talking about people's. Uh, you're talking about the players, and you're talking about their families too. Yeah, he had a DUI. Yeah, but we're not. Yeah, we're not gonna get into that though. We talking about now. This is clearly beyond a DUI. This is what this ain't even. That makes a DUI look like you stole a candy bar. Murray just got cut. He signed nice contract. They asked him to take a pay cut. He said no. A few hours later, he got cut. I mean, well, I'm not. I'm not. We're not looking at that. Wait, what? That's not. I think you're. No, that's not what we're discussing or anything like that. So there's no need to go check anything. But what I'm telling you is that the NFLPA and the NFL, they can only do so much. A human being is going to do what a human being wants to do, and they were wrong in this situation, and it takes a team of guys in order to do that. Now, if you had uh, guys that were involved, that were in the NFLPA, then yeah, then we would be having a whole nother conversation. You're talking about. Listen, the the Morris Smith the Morris Smith uh would have had to he would have had he would have had to check everybody at the front door, knowing that because he's the executive. You're talking about DeMaurice Smith and you're talking about Mark Cobb. You know, and there's another black lady. I forget her name. I think Terry Smith. You understand what I'm saying? None of those guys, none of those guys were amongst the NFL PA. None of them. I mean, they had Richard Sherman. They had Richard Sherman, and he was in the NFLPA. But you see what they made him do? They made him see. They make you now. This is where I do agree where you're coming from. Wait, what? The NFL will make you issue out a statement like with the whole Richard Sherman situation with him. That whole situation and stuff. Him coming to the house and all that other stuff. They forced him to issue out a statement, and you could tell that they did. I read from a financial point off of football income. I'm not saying he was broke, but he was sure by scam funds. Yeah, that's true. I'm using that as an example. PA allowing teams is wrong. Imagine. Yeah, I mean, yeah. In that sense, if you want to look at it from that perspective, yeah, you got a good point. Sadly, the PPP loans, people got about to get exposed to. But yeah, exactly. and you know what? Think tank and wait, what? The fact is that we got a black dude on there talking about PPP loans, and that don't make it no better. Did you know that you can receive such and such amount of money? Man, I'm like, man, if you don't get the fuck out of here, man, they already want to make us look. I done had like, and that's like four guys I know that done hopped on it, man, and they were like, man, you gonna jump on it, man? You got a business too? I'm like, nah, I'm not doing that because my business was just starting out. Yeah, my business was just starting out. I and I hadn't even I didn't even do the I didn't do the LLC until later. I didn't make it a LLC until later. At first, I was doing it was a sole proprietorship, but then I sold P. But then I went ahead and I made it a LLC later. So I wasn't trying to. I had to make sure that all my ducks were in a row before I do that. Look, I just sound like this, man. Don't get it twisted. You got to pay attention to the legal side of things, and in Texas, they don't play. They don't play when it comes to that sort of thing. They will check you at the front doors. With anything that has to do with your business or taxes, the DMV, Texas, man, they don't fuck around like that. And Georgia, I think Tank know what I'm talking about. They don't play around with that shit either in Georgia neither. They don't play with that. They don't play with that sort of thing. Now I don't know how it goes anywhere else, but I said think tank because I know he from the A and everything, and I know how they rock down there. Okay, and what I'm gonna need you to do, wait, what is know that this is my channel, and I do whatever I want to, brother. Okay, it's not every day that I'm gonna be able to, open up the link. I'm just not gonna do that all the time. Okay, because there's a lot of situations that you don't understand that's going on outside of here. Okay, so I would appreciate that if you chill on that, man. Georgia and Texas honestly ain't too far off in legal stuff and the hammer being pounded. Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna talk about Sheed though. Wait. We'll talk about that later. But see, I do come like I do have lives late at night, but unfortunately last night I couldn't do it. My son was asleep and I wasn't trying to wake him up, and I had some other stuff that I was taking care of too, okay? So we'll do that and it's for you have 150. I forgot you was on the East Coast. But we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it. And it wasn't, to me, it's just somebody from a different era expressing how they feel. It would be no different from a player from this era saying, okay, well, I didn't like the way that they did things in the 80s, or something like that. Man, listen, uh I'm gonna tell you like this. Wait, what if Rasheed Wallace would have came out and said, okay, well, such and such is trash, or this person's trash, or that person's trash? Then we would have they would trash him. They would not stop trashing him. But he didn't even say that, and they're still trashing him. They trashed Dennis Rodman. They trashed even Charles Barkley for saying what he said about Ben Simmons. There were some people that said it wasn't just Rasheed Wallace, and it's not only Rasheed Wallace that feels the way that he feels. Hell, I don't like the way that they do certain things nowadays in the NBA. Who? Kobe said that the NBA had got soft. What are you talking about? He said, if you go back and you go look at YouTube, or you talk about all these archives all the time, wait, what? Go back and look at what Kobe said. He said he's used to smash mouth basketball. He said that this is soft. Okay, but we're not talking about technical fouls. Hell, there was a lot of other players that had technical fouls, but it didn't take away anything from his game. That has nothing to do with it. We're not talking about technical fouls. He made a statement about LeBron James, and he gave his opinion about he doesn't think that LeBron would have made it.
Can I get you? Can I get you to just back up just a couple? I gotta get that right
Oh,
there.
okay, all right,
Thank
you
you.
can back up. It has nothing to do with technical fouls. Yeah, he got a right to speak on it. Hold on 1 minute, y'all. Hold on. Salute, young. Okay, well, I'm gonna say this though. Okay, you said the league has progressively gotten away from players playing physical defense. A lot of players today, in my opinion, would have struggled to be effective in the '80s and the '90s, including LeBron. Salute to you, Theo B. I see you. Yeah, I mean, and it doesn't take away from the guy's talent or their know-how or anything like that. But you got to think about the situations were different too, and in terms of the middle wasn't clogged. I mean, the middle was clogged. The middle's not clogged in this era, and then also the spacing. It's a lot more spacing now than what it was back then. Everybody knows that. But I listen. If y'all are looking at me, if you're looking to me, to shit on this era, and then just to uplift the '80s or something like that, I'm not gonna do that. That's not what I'm here to do. But I am gonna say that I do agree with Rasheed Wallace. He would have held his own and everything, but and then also there wasn't no players like uh LeBron or Kevin Durant or anything like that. You understand? They have very few. The closest thing to LeBron to me was I would say somebody. See, when you saw like a guy like Anthony Mason handling the rock and everything like that, you'd be like, man, what the hell is Anthony Mason doing? He big as hell handling the rock and then trying to shoot and trying to do all that stuff, man. And it was weird. But see, now Anthony Mason would have actually been somewhat successful because Anthony Mason could. I mean, he wasn't the best shooter, but he could handle the rock a little bit, and he could also take you in the post too as well. He was real agile for his size, and then you started seeing more of it, as the league got uh, as it evolved. Because I don't know why a lot of people don't give Clifford Robinson his just due either. And I also want to say this too about Cedric Ceballos too. Cedric Ceballos, man, I hope that. Wish him a speedy, really speedy recovery. I know he's fighting right now, but Cedric Ceballos was one of my favorite players to watch too, because how athletic he was, for his time. But Cedric Ceballos could also do many other things. I don't think a lot of other people, understood that. You know, but we'll get into all that later. We'll get into all that later. But yeah, like I said, if you missed what I talked about earlier, again, Clinton Portis and several other ex NFL players have pled guilty to defrauding a league healthcare program. Clinton Portis is facing up to 10 years. The other guys that were involved too, amongst the names were Tamarick Vanover, Robert McCoon, uh, and they they admitted to defrauding the Gene Upshaw NFL Player Health Reimbursement Account Plan, and that was that totals about roughly 350k in medical expenses for retired players and their families. Okay, and McCoon is going to be facing the biggest time. McCoon played linebacker uh, for the Dolphins, and he played for Washington too, and he also played for the Ravens. He's facing life in prison because he orchestrated the whole thing. And the U.S. Department of Justice have been they have been investigating this for quite some time. We're talking about two point million in fraud claims, but he's facing 13 counts of healthcare fraud and 11 counts of wire fraud and 3 counts of aggravated identity theft. And he's going to be sentenced on the 19th. The other guys, like Portis and Vanover, they're facing 10 years. And then another guy that was involved that a lot of people were shocked to see was Joe Horn, and he's been charged and he's pleaded guilty as well. What's up with it, Stephen Brown? I see you in the building. So that's pretty much what's going on right now. And this is a serious situation. And like wait, what was saying earlier, I can understand where he's coming from as far as putting shame on the NFLPA. But like I was saying earlier, I I'm not gonna blame the NFL PA and the commissioner or anybody like that, because this was something better than this, man. Guys know better than this. If you really wanted to do something like this, you should have just went ahead and did it legit, like you were supposed to. Go get the licensing, go get certificates, or go to school to do whatever is necessary instead of trying to do stuff under the table. You know, and I'm all for having something in your name and stuff like that, but it's got to be legit, man. And that equipment is not cheap either. A hyper chamber, that thing is not cheap. I've been in one of those things, and you feel like a new person when you get in one of those things. You feel like a new person, a brand new person. But in order for you to continue to feel like a new person, um, you have to continue to eat right and and live a decent lifestyle. You can't get out of the hyperbaric chamber and then all of a sudden just go run and go get some burgers and fries. No, it don't work like that. You have to eat right and you have to continue to sleep well too. It's the same thing with cryo cryotherapy, you know. So y'all tell me what you think, man. I appreciate y'all pulling up. Jersey Deep TV. I didn't even see you in there. Y'all go subscribe to my boy Jersey Deep TV too. Um, subscribe to his channel. Uh, Wait What? Scrub Zero, Think Tank, Celtics Nation, uh, and Sterling Young, Theo B, Stephen Brown. I thank all y'all for pulling up, man, and staying 10 toes down with me, though. Until then, man, it's Polo Sports Talking ENT, man, and I'm going to get at y'all a little bit later, all right?